Like many of you, I spent a large piece of yesterday I watched Marvel livestream that reveals Avengers, Doomsday. Hello viewers. Welcome to our YouTube channel. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more videos. In it, we saw a large number of casting assumptions that were confirmed alongside great surprises like a number of ex-Fox men in the Fox era joining the battle. But the broadcast has also provided some frustrations to the fans, such as its confirmation that the entire Thunderbolts team will make it on the day of resurrection, leaving a handful of people asking, well, what is the goal of Thunderbolts? But what if I told you that I do not think that the announcement of the actors spoiled the Thunderbolt at all? And not in, we see spoilers differently. I will admit that I do not think that knowing who makes him alive is a lot in the virtue of the comic book, but the real point is going deeper than that. David Harbour, White Russell, and Hannah John Kamen appear in the Avengers. On the day of resurrection does not mean that their characters survive the Thunderbolt. Sebastian Stan and Florence Bug come out of the other side alive was always given. To explain, we need to jump forward, back in time to Fantastic Four, First Steps. The first Marvel family, there is certainty about Fantastic Four at this exact moment. The first is that the first Marvel family in a world different from the main timeline of MCU, and the second is that they need to move in the end to the basic schedule mentioned. Now, when we saw the propaganda section of the First Steps and how Fantastic Four was by the people of the Earth, I immediately assumed that by the end of their introductory movie, they would be dragged into the main timeline in the most tragic ways. Failure on the ground and forcing them to escape into a new angle of the multiple universe. But the day of resurrection has changed this theory. Or rather, it is late. I still doubt that the result is inevitable. We do not know the first steps that occur, but it will not reach the other side of the multiple epic. Now, though, I think the Earth will end like Avengers. Doomsday story ends from the First Step story. What is the best way to prepare risks in a new and refreshing way to make fans fall in love with the inhabitants of a planet condemned to death? We see an introduction to anything else we call Fantastic Four Earth in the First Steps, and you see its demise by Fantastic Four. Then come to the day of resurrection, Loki participated in the inclusion of a reason that would inspire the god of the timeline to intervene, and he has to call for the greatest herbs in the density. Not all of these heroes are part of the main schedule. Currently, there are two well-known phases, or at least users, with the X-Men crew. The Fox schedule is on the Earth 10005. While the ground that includes the Patrick Stewart Illuminati version of Professor X is Earth 838. This is at least two groups of X-Men already. This means that just because the American Agent, Red Guardian, Ghost, and Sentry appear in the list of actors does not mean that this is our American Agent, Red Guardian, Ghost, and Sentry. Even Bucky and Yena can be different copies of themselves. I love Bucky Barnes from Prime Timeline, but if Loki signs to withdraw the best versions of each character in the battle, will he really withdraw a member of Congress? We work with the infinite land with endless timetables. Just because they appear in the list of actors for a later movie, it does not mean that versions of the main timeline of the character we know and love part of the battle. Is this trying to persuade myself that I still see John Walker biting it in Thunderbolts? Certainly. But it is also just the logic of a comic book at this stage. It does not seem unlikely that the advertisement of actors has spoiled the Thunderbolt, but may also hint at more depth to Avengers, Doomsday. One of the mechanics that can make a multi-number story for that engagement is the opportunity to display contact pain that does not fully expect the communication you expect, usually leads to a large amount of anxiety on the beloved characters. Imagine what will happen when Peter Parker, Tom Holland, sees Dr. Doom, Robert Downey Jr., for the first time and is forced to wrestling with the fact that he is not his father's alternative personality, but in fact evil? Thunderbolts trailers are already significantly indicating, at least, Harbour, Red Guardian and Russell are not transported in the United States to the other side of this movie. One wants to be there for his daughter while the other redemption desires for his mistakes, as he puts both the story of the comic book peak to the fodder and leave both Bucky and Yena with emotional moments to play. Yelena will definitely feel that the loss is more than Bucky, but the death of redemption often protrudes even the most difficult heart chains.
Cavill was born in Jersey, the largest and southernmost of the Channel Islands, which are dependent territories of the British Crown and are located off the coast of Normandy, France. He is the fourth of 5 sons of Marianne Cavill, née Dalgliesh, a secretary, and Colin Cavill, a stockbroker. The family lived in St. Helier, where Henry Cavill grew up playing computer games with his brothers. At age 13, he left Jersey to attend the Stowe School, a boarding school in Buckinghamshire, England. At Stowe, Cavill developed an interest in acting and participated in school productions, including Grease, A Midsummer Night's Dream, and Tom Stoppard's Dog's Hamlet. At age 16, he and his classmates had the opportunity to be extras in the movie Proof of Life, 2000, starring Russell Crowe. While on set, Cavill introduced himself to the recent Oscar winner, who encouraged him to pursue acting professionally. Cavill soon landed a role in Vendetta, 2001, followed by another in Kevin Reynolds' big-screen adaptation of The Count of Monte Cristo, 2002. For the part of Albert Mandego, Cavill, who has said that he was teased for being overweight as a kid, was encouraged to lose several pounds. In addition, Cavill had guest roles in a number of British television shows as well as supporting parts in the coming-of-age film I Capture the Castle, 2003, and an adaptation of the Celtic romance Tristan plus Isolde, 2006. During this period, Cavill auditioned for several iconic roles, including Superman and James Bond, which ultimately went to Brandon Routh in Superman Returns and Daniel Craig in Casino Royale, both 2006, respectively. Those setbacks led him to consider following in the footsteps of two of his elder brothers and joining the armed forces. In 2007, however, Cavill garnered his first leading role in The Tudors, a cable series following the exploits of Henry VIII, played by Irish actor Jonathan Rhys-Meyers. Cavill portrayed Charles Brandon, a loyal courtier to the king. The series helped make Cavill a familiar face, and during its 4 seasons, 2007 to 10, he also appeared in such films as the adventure fantasy Stardust, 2007, and the Woody Allen comedy Whatever Works, 2009. After The Tudors, Cavill proved his skill as an action star, playing Greek hero Theseus in Immortals, 2011, and the son of a CIA agent, played by Bruce Willis, in The Cold Light of Day, 2012. In 2011, Cavill announced that he had been cast as Clark Kent/Superman in Man of Steel, 2013. He later admitted that he had missed the call from director Zack Snyder offering him the job because he had been playing the online game World of Warcraft. To portray the Man of Steel, Cavill transformed his body, adding so much muscle that he sometimes split the seams of his Superman costume. He also had the opportunity to work alongside Crowe, who played Superman's father. Jor-El. Cavill went on to reprise the role in Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, 2016, starring opposite Ben Affleck as Batman, and in Justice League, 2017, featuring such DC comic book heroes as Wonder Woman, played by Israeli actress Gal Gadot. In between Superman films, Cavill starred in director Guy Ritchie's big-screen adaptation of The Man from UNCLE, 2015, playing a CIA agent who teams up with a KGB agent, played by Armie Hammer, and in Sand Castle, 2017, portraying a Special Forces captain on a 2003 tour of Iraq. Cavill then played the main antagonist in Mission Impossible Fallout, 2018, the 6th installment of Tom Cruise's Mission Impossible series.